Hi, my name is Lettuce, and welcome to the first episode of Iceberg Lettuce, a new channel where I will take you through the knowns of unknowns of various topics. Today our topic is subliminal messages, and we'll start with something that you may see every day. In Tier 1, we will be focusing on logos and subliminal imagery that marketing units for companies use in specific logos. In the Tostitos logos, the T's and TIT are shaped like stick figures holding a chip above the I, which is shaped like a small table with a bowl of salsa dip on top. In the Tour de France logo, the OUR and Tour make up a man riding a bike. The O making up the back wheel, the U making up the seat, the R making the rider, and a colorful circle under the rider making up the front wheel. In between the letters E and X in FedEx, there is an arrow meant to symbolize efficiency. Amazon's logo has an arrow pointing from A to Z, signifying quick and well-regulated delivery. Toyota's logo spells out Toyota, and Baskin-Robbins is famous for having 31 flavors, and the 31 is highlighted in their logo. In Tier 2, we will be focusing on fairly commonly known subliminal messages, mostly from Disney movies and their posters. On the movie poster for Disney's Little Mermaid, there is King Triton, who is Ariel's father, castled behind Ariel and Prince Eric. If you look closely at the middle of the castle, one of the parapets that the castle is made up of looks very phallic in nature and actually caused the original movie poster to be banned and remade. In another Disney movie poster, this one for The Lion King, you can see Simba's father Mufasa's spirit in the top center of the poster. However, when you outline Mufasa's face, the back and behind of a woman can be seen. In the movie Beauty and the Beast, Gaston is the main antagonist, being a pretentious prick in the beginning and threatening to kill the Beast towards the end. If you've seen the movie, that you know Gaston falls off the Beast's castle to his death, resolving the main conflict. What you may not have noticed is that while he is falling, an animator has placed skulls in the middle of his pupils, signifying that he is most certainly dead. In the TV show Gravity Falls, a side character named Robbie makes a song for Wendy, the main character Dipper's love interest. When the song seems innocuous at first, Dipper gets his hands on it and plays an excerpt from the song backwards, and you can hear, "You are now under control, your mind is mine." In Tier 3, we'll be focusing on fairly unknown messages from well-known pop culture. In the movie The Exorcist, the main antagonist is the demon Pazuzu. However, traditionally a demon's name holds significant power over them, and so Pazuzu, and basically every demon depicted in popular media, declines to give away their real name. The name Pazuzu gives to Regan is instead Captain Howdy in order to gain her trust and initially possess her. In Season 12, Episode 14 of The Simpsons, Bart and the Party Posse sing Drop da Bomb, actually made by NSYNC, which has Bart and company dropping missiles from fighter jets on Saddam Hussein. The chorus of the song sounds nonsensical as it says Ivan et Noj, but is simply join the Navy backwards. One subliminal message I saw a lot while researching actually turned out to be false. In the movie Monsters, Inc., a drawing can be seen near the end that allegedly depicts Uncle Roger and Mommy having intercourse. However, the drawing from and in the movie was edited out and replaced by the Uncle Roger drawing, which originates from a YouTube clip from 2016. In Tier 4, we will focus on hiding imagery in plain sight, from adult jokes in kids' movies to plausible deniability in advertising. In the movie The Departed, there are many indirect hints of the deaths of several characters from the movie. Many of these X's appear throughout the movie and suggest that the character with whom the X's are in frames are due to die. In 2007, EU legislation banned tobacco companies from sponsoring sporting events. Marlboro had been a long-time investor in Ferrari's F1 team, and because of the ban in 2008, Ferrari cards with barcodes looking suspiciously like the color blocks synonymous with Marlboro branding appeared and were raced until 2011, when Ferrari officially removed the barcodes due to controversy. In the Disney movie Toy Story, the antagonist is Sid, another kid like Andy, but who has a penchant for taking apart his toys and reassembling them with parts and pieces of other toys. One of these Frankenstein toys is a fishing pole attached to two Barbie legs, or in other words, a hooker, a joke many of us didn't get as a kid. with a jump scare and a conspiracy theory as we get deeper into the unknown subliminal messages. In the movie Fight Club, Tyler Durden is seen splicing mature photos into the reel of a children's movie, which would play for a split second and disappear as the reel continues the movie. Towards the very end of the movie, this happens not just again, but to us, the viewer. Expecting the Wiener pictures to be done for the movie, we get a surprise as the movie comes to a close. Slayer is a very well-known thrash metal band originating from California. Slayer has always had satanic imagery and often references the occult in their songs, merch, persona, etc. In the album Hell Awaits, the title track begins with nondescript phrases sounding like the whispers of hell. However, when these voices are played in reverse, it plays the words "join us" over and over. Allo Diablo is a message you may not recognize the significance of unless you speak Portuguese. This particular subliminal message comes from the reversing the Coca-Cola logo and connecting some extra lines. Allo Diablo can be seen spelled backwards and means high devil in Portuguese. In Tier 6, we will have double trouble flash frames in a movie that you probably haven't heard of. In the British sitcom Young Ones, many random frames appear for about a second before disappearing. The one shown is a frog jumping. Similar to the Fight Club entry, these images arrived and disappeared for just long enough to burn the image into your head before never reappearing. In J.J. Villard's fairy tales, many subliminal messages take place in the form of flash frames like in Young Ones. While the flash frames from Young Ones do not seem to allude to anything, most of the messages that JJ slips under the radar are just straight up sentences that flash on and off the screen. Some examples are "stop pretending," "trust gets you killed," "love gets you hurt," "being real gets you hated," as well as "you can't change the past, but you can still screw up your future." Any Bonds Today is a song written by Irving Berlin and performed by Bugs Bunny in an animated propaganda film that aired in 1942. Berlin allegedly wrote the tune at the request of then U.S. Secretary of the Treasury Henry Morgenthau in order to curate support for the National Defense Savings Program, which revolved around Americans buying war bonds to support the military. In Tier 7, we get down to the lowest level of the iceberg, and with it we get music that allegedly made two men unalive themselves, 1960s U.S. propaganda, and the man who made subliminal messages important. In the middle of 1990, Judas Priest was involved in a civil action that alleged that they were responsible for the 1985 unalivement attempts of a 20-year-old man named James Vance and 18-year-old Ray Belknap. Vance's parents and their legal team alleged that the subliminal message of "do it" had been included in the song. They alleged that the command in the song triggered the suicide attempt. The case was dismissed, and with the finding that any subliminal messages within the recording, should they exist, were not responsible for the attempts. In the 1960s, U.S. news shows would end their broadcasts with the national anthem played normally over nature shots of the U.S. and English subtitles in the middle of the screen. While this seems harmless enough, if you slow down the transitions between lines, many subliminal messages can be seen. For example, "trust the government," "rebellion is not tolerated," "God is real, God is watching," and "worship, consume, believe." Igor Viktorovich Smirnov was a controversial Russian scientist best known for his role in Soviet-era mind control research. He founded the Psychotechnology Research Institute at the People's Friendship University of Russia to work on ideas like psychocorrection, a term he used to denote the use of subliminal messages to alter a subject's will or even modify a person's personality without their knowledge. In today's video, we have learned about marketing strategies from many companies, the use of subliminal messages in propaganda, how subliminal messages can affect art and film, as well as learning who initially started the science of subliminal messaging.